and we'll go to public forum, and we've got one public forum from Hayley Giulietta, so do you want to come on up? Yeah, great. Yep, and I think we've got a presentation as well. Brilliant. Welcome, Hayley. No worries.
Oh,
I think you're good now.
I'm good? Cool.
Excellent. We're in your hands.
Excellent. So, yes, I'm Hayley Giulietta, the chairperson of the Food Resilience Network, and this is David Watson, one of our lovely board members. I'm not going to go too much into the project today, but, because I just wanted to cover off, over the last 4 months since we had our loan application, and there's been a whole lot of misunderstandings about this project, and I really wanted to just cover those off today. So the Food Resilience Network is the kaitiaki of the Edible Canterbury Charter, which the Christchurch City Council has signed, and it's also the project lead for the Atakaro Orchard, which is an anchor project post-earthquakes. So I just want to take you back in time, really. You might recall the Christchurch Central Recovery Plan. That plan was put together by the government through SERA, Christchurch City Council, Christchurch NZ and Mana Whenua. Central to that plan was around listening to the people, and that was done through a really lengthy consultation process called Share an Idea. Over 100,000 people contributed to the Share an Idea to have a say in how we wanted our central city to look. Some of the key things out of that were green spaces and to reduce the size of the central city. So you can only imagine the conversation that went ahead in Wellington after this was, shit, we've reduced the size of the central city, we've put a big stadium at one end and a Metro Sports at the other and a whole lot of precincts in the middle, but where are we going to put the green spaces? So this then set in motion an expression of interest for someone to come along and fix a little corner site in 227 Cambridge Terrace. This tender was put out again by Sarah and yourselves, Mana Whenua, Environment Canterbury and Christchurch NZ. We, as an organisation, pitched the Cool Atakaro Orchard project and won that tender. So, in 2016, we took what was a compacted rubble site, and in 8 years, we've turned it into a flourishing orchard, a community space. We've delivered almost the educational hub. It is a world-class building. Not a drop of rainwater goes off to that site into the stormwater system. The only thing that leaves that site is a bit of poo from the toilets in the middle that we had to put in for resource consent. The building itself is zero carbon footprint. So I'm just going to skip to the numbers because I don't have a lot of time. There is a misconception that as a major stakeholder in this project, Christchurch City Council has put a lot of money into this. But the reality is you haven't. If you look at your pie, 14% of the total cost, but the reality is that half of that pie is actually a loan, which shouldn't be in the pie anyway because we're going to pay it back. And the other half is Better Off funding, which was central government money. We then received the Better Off funding right at the time where building costs skyrocketed by 40%. And then there was an expectation that we were to use that money instead of strengthening communities to run our operations. So those two things alone, plus other things, have meant that we haven't been able to complete it on that money. The total project, the feedback we've had is you've blown out. Well, the reality is, with what we've paid so far in cash, what we've done in volunteer and in kind time, plus the money that we're asking for, the total cost of the project is still below what the original project cost was. We re-scoped it in 2020 and saved a heap of money. So we're still delivering within that original budget. So where to from here? The staff are saying to us, you've got us by the balls. Well, the reality is you've got us by the balls. This is council-owned land. You have got first security of a $3 million asset for $150,000, which makes it really challenging for us to get money from elsewhere. Up until September, we paid the loan interest with our vegetable sales once a week. We haven't been able to do our September payment because we're just not operational and we can't pull it out of the year. We have QA costed the build complete at $650, but what we have done, and that's been checked by 2 builders, what we've done is we've scaled that back to $290K by getting donations. We've done a power of work ourselves on the Adobe bricks and things like that. And we really need a contingency to get the operations working. Once the site's activated, it completes the north frame, and we will have enough in our social enterprise to be able to pay our loan back. We've had a professional business valuation looking at our projections, and they are well aligned. So to circle back to share an idea, the people of Christchurch wanted green spaces. This project, in my view, is the only anchor project that meets the top 3 criteria that the people wanted. It's a green space with huge amount of biodiversity value. It's a cafe and a restaurant. It's got a bit of shopping, and it's also being led by the people, a network of people. Thousands of people have contributed with money, and when it's completed, what we already do, we deliver to the people of Christchurch and Greater Christchurch a plan to make this the most food secure region in the country.
Great, thank you, Hayley, for that. It's good to get an update on where it is, and I know we've got a paper coming next week to consider. We probably haven't got time for questions, but I've just got one. It's just around, so you mentioned the security on the 3 million. Is that, it just seems weird to me we would have security for 150 grand of the entire 3 million. Is that what you meant?
So you've got security on the building. So in the current valuation of the building's around about 3 million. So
but we have,
even though the loan's only 150, so we can't give first security to anybody else.
Right. Maybe that's something we need to have a conversation about, because that might be a non-financial way of helping potentially. Yes. So okay, hey, thank you for coming in. Be good to, can we leave that with the relevant team? Thank you. Okay, Peter, you're up with key organisational performance report, please. Item number 7. We've got no deputations and no petitions.
Right, good morning everybody.